to be. All right, all right. Welcome everybody. This is officially our Reels to Revenue masterclass, and this masterclass is meant to give you essentially a very simple plan that you can follow with all the tools that are also simple. Right? I'm all about simplifying your game. I was listening this week in one of my walks, John Maxwell, that he was saying that. He actually considers himself a great communicator, not an educator. And he says that educators tend to complicate things versus communicators, they tend to simplify things. I'm like, oh, I love that. All right. I'm a great communicator. I'm also a great integrator, and I love simplifying things, especially when it comes to the digital marketing world that it doesn't really have to be complicated. So what I would love is, today, if you can think about what is the one thing that you would like to figure out, right? Like you saw what we are going to cover. And I would love that if you can write on the chat from everything that we said in the invitation, what is the one goal that you would love to accomplish today? Maybe like, I would love to figure it out how to blank, right? Like, what would you like to figure out today, right? So I can always just come back, and if there's something that was not included on this presentation, I can always just come back and then make sure that you are served, right? So yes, think about this. Think about like, what is the one thing that you really would love to figure out, so that our time together is especially valuable for everybody that is here live. All right. So here's what I have in my agenda. And then depending on your answers, we can add things and we can incorporate anything that you need in order to be served. Right. So in the beginning, I'm going to go over the social media marketing trends. And yes, you're going to hear me say in 2025, not a typo or a mistake. It's because typically during this Q4, we start creating strategies for 2025. And what we do is we read reports, we compare our notes with other peers, coworkers, all of that, to create our strategies, right? So love this, Ali, how to grow my audience, love it. I got you. We're going to be also talking about the Reels to Revenue roadmap. Okay, then we're going to be talking about the tools that you can leverage to create short form and in a very easy way. My favorite is this one is going to have a section where we're going to play with AI, which is actually on your Instagram. Okay, we're going to be playing with Llama, and I want you to feel empowered and equipped so that you don't need to actually, even hire a social media strategist to create social media content. You will see also now that we can generate, different opportunities and how can we work together and all of that. All right. Love, Nicola, your note. I'm going to come back to it. Alrighty. So a little bit about me in case that you and I have never met. I am Jessica, and I call myself the recovered attorney who turned herself into a digital marketer. And what that means is, a definition that has evolved around, my entire career in my pivot, which started back in 2011. And to this day, I never look back. I, closed my law practice, even surrendered my license. And I was on a mission to replace my income. And once I was able to do it, I saw that the online marketing world had no ceiling in comparison to my career, which I always would had to get a license from any state if I kept moving, right? So that was my original reasons why I wanted to just really embrace the opportunity of having this global market and being, having the chance to really advocate for other business owners, other entrepreneurs, so that they could access everything that I access. It's just mind blowing to me. And each day I wake up really, really excited. Today we have, for example, Nicola from UK. We have Ali from and Brittany from Texas, right? Like this is such a beautiful opportunity that we can all have thanks to the technology, that I became fascinated with how can I actually create a business with that. And around that time, I also became a mom of three in addition to my oldest. So I'm a mom of four. I'm also a grandma. And lately, my favorite marketing discipline to work with, it's actually demand generation. And you're going to hear more about it towards the end. But in a nutshell, when we talk about demand generation, we're talking about essentially getting all of the different opportunities that a business can have, and then integrating them all and creating a plan that works for you, right? Another discipline that is something that is very much needed, especially for businesses that want to grow, is also sales enablement. Okay. And normally, small business owners don't have access to these particular strategies because, quite frankly, you don't have the budget to hire an executive marketing team that can do everything for you. So, what I try to do in these masterclasses is equip you with the tools that you need in order to really treat your business like a pro, and then leverage the things that you can do, or even outsource the things that maybe they are kind of like over your head. So we try to find solutions that can help you to achieve those goals at any budget that you are, right? So my accent, I always like to say that, is from Puerto Rico. And actually today we're kind of watching some of my friends who are under these horrible news, being under the hurricane. So I'm going to be asking that, just watch the news. And if you have any friends, just reach out. And we get nervous when it comes to hurricane season. So yes, I am from Puerto Rico, and I told you about, the background. Here are some of the brands that I have supported, and I have worked in multiple disciplines, from just social advertising. I've also worked with the full digital marketing, SEO, and all of that. So when we achieve that because of the many years and the experiences, we consider essentially ourselves as digital marketing experts, because we have done many, many, many things, especially as a small business owner, right? So why we are here today, let's just roll the sleeves and let's get started. I want to remind you that when you come to these classes, when you give yourself the gift to learning something new, I want you to think about, okay, I'm learning this, but I need to also make space to implement what I'm learning. So take out your calendars, and I want that next week, exactly today, but a week from today, I want you to block 2 hours. Okay. Please block in your calendar 2 hours next week from today. Okay. And then take the time to implement the strategies that you're going to learn today. Maybe you don't need the full 2 hours, but maybe you might want to just rewatch this session and then also implement. So please just give yourself the gift of implementation, and be, an action taker, right? So I'm going to be adding that on my reminders to you, because I want to make sure that you are taking advantage of this. All right. So I'm going to go quickly now over the marketing trends that we see that are happening now and are going to, be applicable for 2025. So very often I receive the question on, where should I be, right? Like, where should I be on social media? So my answer, it depends on who are you targeting. But for the most part, Facebook, which is Meta, continues to be at the top. And when we analyze accounts, when we analyze websites, we see that Facebook actually drives way much more traffic than, for example, Instagram. So if you are targeting, for example, business owners, if you are targeting service consumers, like anybody who needs your services, for example, you might want to consider Facebook as your primary. And then the question becomes, okay, so what content will I be sharing on Facebook, right? But having first the selection of the platform is going to be key so that you create the plan. And now the good news is that the tool that I'm going to be teaching you today is going to tell you exactly what platform are you going to be using and what is the percentage of I would say of focus for each of these platforms. So that's super super amazing. Now, for those of you who are in the B2B, I would love to know on the chat, right? Are you targeting consumers or are you targeting other businesses? So type on the chat if you are B2C or B2B, because that helps me to kind of craft the content for you, right? So how many of you are B2B versus how many of you are B2C? Okay, perfect. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay, awesome. So I see B2C. These are the first answers. So Instagram and TikTok are going to be great for B2C, right? If you're targeting business to business, LinkedIn is going to be your best friend. And there's so many updates on LinkedIn that we definitely need to make a new class for LinkedIn alone, right? So now that we talk about which of the platforms are going to be your primary, we always recommend have a primary and your secondary, right? So if you're targeting B2C, your primary might be Instagram, but maybe your secondary can be LinkedIn because maybe you want to do wholesale. Maybe you want to find other referral partners and they are on LinkedIn, right? So your primary is where your customers are, but your secondary is where maybe your referral partners are. The second point about trends here is what content format we're seeing that renders the highest return on the investment. Video by far generates the most engagement from all of the different content formats. Now, let me clarify something. This is organic, okay? So if you are paying for traffic, if you're paying for engagement, the format doesn't really make a difference because when you pay, obviously, you're going to have access to the targeting. And in the paid word, I would love to know how many of you are doing Facebook ads this year. You just type yes or no. Have you done Facebook ads this year? Yes or no. So let me tell you, Facebook ads are just wicked smart. They now have their own AI to automate and optimize your ads, and actually they even automate the reminders for you. So they're very very good. So I would say it's always good, it's always recommended to consider a combination of organic practices with paid practices. Okay. Ali says I cannot hear. Can you hear me well, guys? Can you hear me well? Yes. My microphone says yes. Okay. Okay. Yes, Ali, you might want to sign up again. Okay. Yes. So content format, video for organic. If you're paying, it doesn't really matter because, you will have access to other tools. Okay. Best content type for engagement. Again, short form video, right? We said here, video is really, really good. But then for videos on social media, what kind of video? Short form. Okay. And this is one of the trends that I kept seeing and I kept actually implementing for our clients who we do social media marketing for them. I'm like, wow. I mean, we sometimes have a lot of time and resources invested in creating these, beautifully designed images and, the carousel posts and all of these kind of things. And quite frankly, the content that creates the most engagement are videos, especially if you guys are in the B2B. If you are like creating content that is different from your competition, you will stand out, right? So with short form video, that's the main reason why they work very well. And I can, if I had a magic wand, I can tell you that the trend and how the platforms are actually favoring those of you who are using short form video, it's going to still be a thing for next year, but like everything, right? So when it comes to something that is trendy, which is a tactic, those tactics will go away. Now, how can we take a tactic and incorporate it and make a holistic strategy, that is where your money is, right? So while we are hot and coming in hot with what is trending right now, just know that, at some point this is going to change, right? I've been in this space of training and calling strategies for social media. And, a few years ago, it was like, oh, you have to make, a carousel post. And then it was like, oh, you have to do live or you have to do a challenge, right? I would love to see in the comments. And it is in the house. She's also in the social media marketing space. You probably can, relate with me, Enid. Like, tactics have always existed, right? So what is trendy now is like the short form video, but it used to be the carousel. It used to be the Facebook groups. It used to be creating a challenge, right? So you always will be hearing like what is trendy and what's the latest, but you always need to have the strategic approach, which is where's your money? Who has your money, right? Where are they? And how can you be visible to them? This weekend, I participated in a panel, and one of the questions was about how to use data to make decisions on what marketing platforms be, right? And I was actually explaining that I wanted to start by making a difference between marketing and visibility. The word marketing comes from the industrial economical era. We are in the digital economical, in the digital economy, right? We're not in the industrial economy anymore. So when we said marketing in the past, that was in reference to going physically to a market. Now, yes, we can go physically to a market, but we need to consider that that's not the only way. And because of that, the consumer these days is everywhere and we need to be visible. So what used to be marketing, I want you to just kind of learn that you will replace it for visibility, right? So how can I be visible? Not in front of anybody so that you can be viral, because you're not here to get paid by the views. You're not Mr. Beast wannabe, right? You're here because you want to have followers who turn into a loyal audience who are your word of mouth. Yes, you want that, right? So how can we achieve that with social media? Well, social media and any other place where you're going to share your brand, you want to make sure that everything has a thread to visibility, right? So just write this down. Marketing was in a long time ago referred to going to market in the industrial economy. Now, in the digital economy, it's not marketing anymore, is visibility. Now, let's talk about the psychology of the short form and then what the studies have shown on why exactly short form video works. So, the short answer on why short form video works is because people love when they're not getting pitched by an advertiser. How many of you watch Netflix and you binge watch the content? Yes, that's definitely most likely all of you. Now, if you had the chance to watch a show, but then it's free, but then it has advertising, don't you just switch to just purchase? I think Amazon does that, right? Very often we see these shows on Amazon, and oh my gosh, after the second round of ads come, I'm like, I can't. I just can't. I just can't do it. By the way, this is a great question to connect. Which show are you watching that you can recommend? It will be a great comment to kind of like, have a point of conversation. If you're looking for a great movie, I would say go and watch the Nayad movie. Tom, can you put it on the chat? The Nayad movie. That's a great, great, great movie for entrepreneurs. Like, it's going to give you so much inspiration. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I can do this and more, right? So that's essentially why short form video works, right? Because they know that you're not going to basically stick a commercial for 30 seconds. You're going to just provide the content to the point, and you're going to be entertaining, right? So a couple of here, I wanted to share with you what to expect when you lead your strategy with the visibility in mind, right? I know that some of you, they wanted to learn how to grow your audience, right? So this is how I can answer that question, right? So here's a case study. And the first thing is defining what does growth mean, right? So how let me just put in the chat. How do we define growth? Okay. So when you say I want to grow, okay, so can we define growth, right? We had a discussion as a team, and we realized that the chase for wanting followers is no longer should no longer be a goal if you want to generate revenue, right? If you want to generate revenue, the number that matters the most is your reach and your engagement. Okay. So yes, you want the followers because you want to impress people with the size of your audience, but I'd rather have you with a healthy number of emails, okay, your email list, and a healthy number of engagement. Okay. How can you achieve that? By being consistent. Okay. We are still in this era, in this season where AI is essentially being used by a lot of creators. And because of that, they can create more. So your first step in order to grow is to create more content. Then your second step is to watch for your stats, and then those pieces of content that reach more of your people, then you can basically 10x that content. And this is where you can mix the organic, which is free, versus with paid advertising as well. So this is a great example, and I want to show you how to grow. How can your brand grow, but also just be mindful that you want to monitor also the clicks that your content is generating. Okay. So in this case, we grew our reach by 500%. Some of the months were 1,000%. It was just crazy. But then I was also monitoring the ratio between the increase in the reach and the increase in the link clicks. Because ultimately, your social media channels are going to be a funnel. You want to drive people closer to you. Remember the visibility, right? They find you on social media, but you want them to bring them closer to you. So this is a good example. You can take pictures of this on how to expect. Now, let's talk about the roadmap to create short form content and turn it into revenue. Okay. So first step is learn how short form content, works. And for this, to be honest with you, since you are wanting to target, most of you want to target consumers, we have identified templates that you can follow. And because of that, I don't want you to put a lot of time into learning unless you want to become a content creator, unless you want to get paid to create content. That's a different story. But when you want to leverage content to promote your business, I want you to cut the learning curve and then use the tools that have been created, such as templates, such as like ready, done for you things that you can just use. And we're going to give you some today. The second piece is find out what you're passionate about. The main reason why is because we have seen that when you combine personal content with your business content, it makes you to be a human. It makes you to be relatable. And in order for you to share content that makes you relatable, it should be content that is associated with your passion, right? So what are you passionate about? We just talk about the show, right? You probably can see a pattern of what content you love if you see your Netflix dashboard, right? Because it usually has the different topics that, or the different shows that are recommended to you based on the ones that you have watched. So what are you passionate about? I follow some accounts that I love when I see that they share content about finances, but then they also share a recipe, right? And now that the holidays are coming, if you have like a recipe, if you want to talk about, your traditions, if you want to take your people on a journey and create from the space of where you are today, that makes you a human, right? So here's the key here. And this weekend we were on this marketing panel and we talk about this a lot, right? The word authenticity. What does it mean to be authentic? And there was like a huge aha moment that everybody had when one of the panelists was sharing her perspective on authenticity. And she said, listen, we have a problem with lifestyle content, okay? Because when you create a perfectly crafted and curated lifestyle content, right? And everything that you share is so beautiful, you turn yourself into somebody that is not relatable, okay? And people don't like that. People don't like that. So, in contrast, you will be basically saying, well, I don't like creating content that, that I don't like how I look and all of those things. Obviously, we want you to be confident, but it's not about you, it's about your audience, right? So when you're passionate about something, share the message. And when you do that, it's basically like going to the gym. The more you do it, the better you're going to be about it, right? So just detach yourself from that outcome and genuinely share your passion with your audience because they will appreciate it. And ultimately, your numbers are going to help you to see if that is something that your audience appreciates, right? So number three is research your passion. And this is where we're going to be using our Meta Llama, because Llama has done that work for you. And you're going to be as fascinated as I am when you see what AI can do for you in terms of researching what content can you create based on what the algorithm believes that will genuinely engage your audience. I mean, it's amazing. So, okay, the next step, which number 4, build your personas and their journey. Then step 5 is you're going to follow like the content creation with the approach of the 90-10, which is I want you to go with more quantity versus quality. Okay. And step number 6, I want you to be very mindful that what did we say in the beginning? You want to have more reach and you want to grow your email list. Those two are going to be your most important metrics when you're growing your brand using short video. Okay. I know that 6 steps sound like a lot, but this is where AI comes handy because actually, the only thing that you need that AI cannot do for you was step 1, which you already did, right? You decided that you wanted to learn. And step 2 is you know already what topics you're passionate about. The rest, AI is going to actually do it for you, which is fascinating to me. Okay. So, are you excited? You excited? Any questions, comments until now? Any aha moments, any breakthroughs, anything that you're like, want to get clarification on? Please write it on the chat. Okay. When we are using AI, one of the biggest differences in the outcomes from your artificial intelligence or your prompting is going to happen when you actually use the right words. Okay. So if you're asking AI to create a content plan and you actually say, I want you to tell me suggestions for awareness videos, suggestions for videos that generate clicks, suggestions for videos that generate conversions. When you use that language in your prompting process, you are going to get those examples. And actually with Meta AI, you're going to even get the links to the accounts and the hashtags and all of that. So guys, all of this is giving. It is amazing, right? So if the what to do has been given, now the only thing that is left for you is to carve out the time and then really commit to create the content, right? So that's how we grow. That's how we grow. And generally speaking, you want to see a blend between awareness, consideration, and you want to see opportunities where people just give you their email and you capture their email. And when we craft a plan for your month of content or for your 90 days of content, you're going to see that most of the content is going to fall in the awareness, because you want to be likable, you want people to find you. And then secondary, you're going to see basically content that is going to be you with a very call to action where people get closer to you. And then you see the content that asks for emails. Those traditionally, I love to use them as a campaign, because when you are campaigning for a theme, then you let your audience know that, hey, we're going to be doing this, and then we are in this together, and once we are done, we achieve the goals, and then we go party, right? So campaigns are really, really good, especially when we are approaching social media with a strategic approach. And when you think about it, we can learn the campaigns from the big retailers. You don't have to invent the wheel. We already know that if you're in the e-commerce, for example, if you target consumers, where their minds are by Q4, they're thinking about the holidays. They're thinking about, if you're in the fitness industry, they're going to be thinking about, oh, my new goals, new years, right? So we already have pre-established campaigns if we monitor the way that consumers react. And especially if you follow hero brands, you're going to see like what campaigns they launch. And they do this because they have access to a lot of research. So don't invent the wheel. You can follow those campaigns and those themes, right? So this is the part that I told you I wanted to have like a lab where we all practice together using Llama. Okay, so I'm going to actually share my Instagram screen.
Is that things are about to get...
Stop this. Okay, and I want you to go into Meta AI chat. Okay, if you don't have Meta AI chat, that means that you have not used the Meta AI before. So you can come here to your search, and then in your search, you might have here the opportunity to basically search using Meta AI. Can you put me on the chat if you found your chat, if you have the availability to do this? And to save us time, I want to show you a couple of prompts that I have used that can serve you tremendously, tremendously, tremendously. Okay, so I'm gonna go from the top here. So I'm gonna go from the top. The first thing that you need to do is to make sure that Llama, okay, has your right information. Okay, so that's the first step. Let me just turn this off. Okay, so I started with this prompt. Hi, can you critique my profile and tell me who I am? Okay, so as you can see, it did tell me, okay, so if I'm going to critique your profile, I need to know if you share with me your handle and all of these things, right? So it did that for me. I did share my handle, and then I basically said, in a succinct words, who I am. Okay, so here's the interesting thing. Okay, areas for improvement. It gave me a profile critique, and something that I already know, I need visual identity. Okay, I need to have a new picture, the color scheme and font selection, it needs to be cohesive. Look at this. Look at this. And it's going to tell you who is your target audience. It's going to tell you what information it has from you based on the command of, can you critique my profile? Okay. I'm going to wait on the chat and see if you think this is amazing. Come on. Let me know what you think about this. So from here, you can actually have the next steps. So it goes like, can we develop a content calendar? Do you need to create a lead magnet? Do you need to research your events for speaking opportunities? Like, I mean, hello. That's why I told you, you need 2 hours to implement what you're going to be learning today. because this information is going to be essentially the information that you would get if you hire a social media manager, right? So no longer you need that role, okay? No longer you need that role. You're going to have all this information. What you will need is the implementation team, okay? So another prompt that I love, 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 love. Can you reverse engineer how to get more engagement? Okay. Can you reverse engineer? So you know what it did? It found those accounts that are generating engagement, and it's telling me who are those accounts, what content do they share. Okay. So the second prompt here is somebody taking notes. Okay. The first prompt was, can you critique my profile? Second prompt, can you reverse engineer? Okay. So, and can you reverse engineer? It's a prompt that you can use for multiple things. So you can say, can you reverse engineer? How can I grow my followers? Can you reverse engineer? How can I generate more reach? Can you reverse engineer how to blank? By the way, Llama is not limited to Instagram, okay? So you can say, can you reverse engineer how to grow my LinkedIn profile? Can you reverse engineer how to generate more leads for my X, product, right? So Alex says, I'm not utilizing AI enough. Yes, 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 yes. I want to give you time to time you guys, since this is kind of a lab, I want to know from you, anybody playing already with this? What are you getting? Okay, I'll keep going. Notice that is actually going to give
I
me,
have a question, Jessica.
yes,
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you while you were speaking, but I noticed in your first prompt that you added your name, right?
mhm.
Like your tag, your Instagram name. For some reason, mine is not recognizing. It says that I'm not able to pull up any external links. So, were you able to have any success with like just adding the name itself?
Mine actually, it maybe what you need to do is just keep asking and
Okay.
ask you to give it to you, because actually, um, further in my conversation with Llama, as you can see, was a long conversation. Llama talks a lot. It actually, look, here's what I found on Instagram. So these, when you see unsupported,
Mhm.
this was from my cell phone. So here is where it gave me my profile.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Are you on your
I'll keep
desktop?
trying. I think
Yeah.
I'm getting the same response as someone else in chat. It's just saying I can't access external links or browse the internet for some reason. I don't know why.
And are you on the desktop?
I'm on mobile.
Mobile. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it should. And actually, they just announced that is going to start taking images. So, sooner rather than later, we might be able to just upload the image of the profile. I'm not surprised if that happens by next week, because it's
Okay.
going really, really, really fast. Okay.
I have a question, Jessica, if you're done.
Yes. Yes.
Um, so I'm on the profile, but I don't see what you see, the Meta AI with the prompts, right?
Mine
How
comes at the very top. It says Ask Meta AI. When you go to the search button,
is it only on the mobile, or is it on the
it starts at the mobile version
ah,
first.
okay.
Yes. Yes, yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. So reverse engineer, that was our second prompt. And guys, as you can see, we can spend here all day, right? Hashtags. Okay. So look at this. Can you tell me the best 30 hashtags I can use to position my content? Look at this, in front of engaged users. So here I'm going to say that the best hashtags can be used for different things. So here, my last name was to position my content in front of engaged users, right? That's what I asked. But I can say best hashtags so I can research. You can use hashtags to research. You can use hashtags based on location. Okay. So you can say my best hashtags to position my content in front of users who are in Austin. Is this getting better? You can say, find me the best hashtags to position myself as a speaker. Best 30 hashtags to position my content in front of people who click. Keep in mind, guys, this machine has more data than any other AI model that exists right now, because Meta has been collecting all of our information for many, many, many years. So the information pertaining to social media and marketing, I mean, it's just mind blowing, mind blowing. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. So I'm going to keep going. So it's going to give you the hashtag suggestions. And again, you can keep rinsing and repeating the different hashtags for different purposes. Okay. Now, next one. I just did all this so I could just show you on the class, because it was just like amazing. I'm like, okay, so I said, I want to grow to 100,000 followers in 90 days using videos. Can you reverse engineer how to achieve that goal? And here it is. Okay, here it is. And rest assured that it's giving me everything that you need to know about the type, the percentage of the type, the length of the video. Notice that it's actually mixing up the minute video, 15-second, 30-minute, leveraging LinkedIn, leveraging YouTube, the frequency, the consistency, and then growth hacking. Guys, I mean, again, you don't need to pay anybody for information, for God's sake. You don't need to pay anybody for information these days.
Right.
Engaging topics. I found this very, very interesting. Giveaways are still a thing, right? Contest. There's actually a brand that I was studying the other day, GoPro as a brand. GoPro is part of like these case studies that they use to show that they decided that they didn't want to be basically keep paying for Google ads. They wanted to go organic. And then they realized that they could do contests with their audience where people just do like the filming submissions. And to this day, that is a contest, that is a year thing, and it has become kind of like a big deal. And then they show in this case study, I was seeing like the benchmarks. When you see the revenue that they were generating and the size of their audience, it is fascinating to see how with contest driven strategies, they just kept growing and growing and growing. So can we strategize with a contest, right? Maybe we do a contest on small business owners using AI and growing the revenue, and maybe we do grants, right? So, like these are opportunities that you can see and you can strategize with Llama, because you can, and it's free. It's also giving you the requirements for your implementation team, right? And again, this is where I said, we are in the information overload era, so we're not having a problem on what to do. We are having the issue of like, we don't have enough hours in our life. So as far as tools and resources, I love using CapCut for finding trends, for finding templates. And I also love using Instagram for finding the trending audios. There is already a tab that says inspiration. And in that tab, it's going to tell you exactly what, content, can help you to generate more reach and all of that, right? Next prompt, as if this was not, good enough, right? I said, okay, can you build a sales funnel for Instagram? And this is essentially applicable to when I was sharing with you that we need 3 styles, of content: the content for awareness, the content for clicks, and the content for conversions. This actually is going further and generating content for retention. Okay. It's really, really fascinating to see what content it came up with and the timeline and every single thing. Okay. And I kept going here. I kept just, sharing, more questions with this tool. And again, we can be here all day. questions, comments. Tell me your feedback. Once you like, was this worth it? Like, is this powerful to grow your business? Tell me, what are you gonna do with this information? Well, I'm gonna say I have a little ask. I would love that you do like a story and you tag me on this information that you learned today and how great this was, so we can get more people watching the replay. I'm going to have a date with Llama this weekend. Mm-hmm. By the way, Tom, can you put on the chat? I have a freebie for you that actually has the examples of template for reels so that you don't have to invent the wheel and you can see how they look. So yes, so the free guide where you can see all in details like the 90-10 approach to create more content and the implementation of it. I wanted just to so you can see like, you know, how things look like. Inside this guide, you're also going to have essentially, I crafted examples of content planners, but now with Llama, I mean, I cannot compete with Llama, right? So Llama is going to be better than me, but at the very least, you have examples. And one thing that you can do, now this one is more with ChatGPT, okay? Once you have a guide, for example, I don't know if you know, but on ChatGPT, you can upload a PDF. And you can say to ChatGPT, hey, my social media coach is advising us to do this plan. Can you actually craft a personalized plan for my audience? Okay, so you can do something like that with ChatGPT. I do find though that ChatGPT has easier ways to access. For example, like the fact that I can dump, you know, files, I can upload PDF, I can upload images. I don't know if you knew this, guys, but you can take a picture of your backyard and ask ChatGPT to design a landscape for your backyard. How many of you have done that? You can ask ChatGPT to design your kitchen. So if you are a interior design, just, you know, close your ears. Nicola, what? Yes. Yes. So with ChatGPT, which most people, I find that they still don't leverage the power of the app. So ChatGPT, especially the paid one, you need to be paying for this one. In the app, you actually have the chance to actually take a picture. Okay. So if I ask the chat, I can open the camera. Look, it opens my camera, okay? And I can take a picture of a place, of a space. And actually, I will tell you this. Over the summer, we went to Ireland, okay? And then there, the appliances are different. And we didn't know how to turn the washing machine on. It was just like very weird. It had language that none of us could recognize. So what I did was I took a picture of the machine and I said to ChatGPT, hey, can you tell me what language this is and where can I turn this machine on? So yes, it's and it says I need to do that for my yard. Yes, you can ask ChatGPT for things, you know, in real time. You can take pictures of, you know, maybe food. Like, can you tell me, you know, what this is? So Llama just announced that they are adding visual capabilities, but ChatGPT is more advanced when it comes to that, but Llama is more advanced as a social media strategist, okay? So, okay, now, again, information, it's not going to be an issue. You're not short of strategies, okay? Now, the more dates that you have with Llama, okay, the more strategies you're going to have. So, since now you know what you need to do, what are the challenges that business owners have? Okay, I still hear, like, even when I create all of these strategies, is there a file with prompts? Actually, I had a file with prompts with ChatGPT last year, but they all need to be updated. Enid, I'm going to be doing that. Okay. That's going to be my next freebie, but I need like 2 weeks for that. Cool. So write it down. They want to file with AI prompts. Okay. So challenges, needing a niche. Niche marketing is still a thing, because you want people to know you for something, especially when you are, raising more awareness. Okay, you don't want people to be confused about what you do, which is why campaigns are very, very good, right? So that doesn't mean that you only provide one service. For example, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be seeing my messaging pivoting from social media to demand generation. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to go hard on those hashtags: demand generation, demand gen, more blogging, more strategies, right? As you noticed in the beginning when I was doing this webinar, I told you like what I do, right? And I said, I do demand generation. So this is kind of like, to give you a little bit of behind the scenes, this is kind of like the beginning of this campaign. And one of the best things I have found is if I have access to you and I'm telling you what I'm doing, I can even ask you, hey, can you give me feedback on my profile once we rebrand it, right? So we are doing a rebranding, and you're going to see more changes in colors, in fonts, all these kind of things, because what we want to do is really go more to a higher market, providing the holistic approach to leading a team on demand generation and sales enablement. Because as you can see, essentially AI took my job, right? So you don't need me. What you need is a team of sales enablement combined with implementation for high-end SEO content creation, social media content creation, high-end video, all of those things, okay? So you still need a niche, okay? And this is something that you can go back and forth with, generating ideas and inspiration, and find a niche that is just close to your passion. And you can just switch that, based on your campaigns. The other challenges that I see is having an unclear brand. And guys, this one is very, very important. If you generate a lot of reach, if you generate a lot of attention, but you're not converting sales, then you're missing something that has to do with the value that you provide, okay? So for checking on the value, you definitely need somebody that can give you their fresh pair of eyes and data to see if your product, if your solutions are perceived as high valuable solutions, okay? The other one, the other challenge is how can I see the ROI, okay? So remember, in the beginning, I told you the two most important metrics are going to be what? Your engagement. This is going to be a quiz. This is going to be a quiz. What is the second most important metric? The number of what? The number of what? Who's paying attention here? I want to see it on the chat. The most important metrics that are going to tell you interactions is one, and the second one is, it starts with email. Email, yes. You want to have your database, because if you get canceled on Instagram, then you lose your business, and I'm not going to be happy. Okay. You need to build your brand equity, right? And that happens when you have access to your audience. And then challenges, mindset. It's this is too much. This is too hard. And I know that if you're here, you are more than willing to learn. So mindset is not an issue. And I'm happy that Pritam is here, because guys, he provides active meditation events. And I think that every creator needs to have opportunities to meditate. So Pritam, I'm going to give you a plug here. Put us here. When is your next event on meditation? Because I cannot tell you enough how meditation practices has helped me to be more centered, grounded, and to create from a space of creativity versus create from a lacking mindset. And when you have access to those meditation tools, you're going to feel great. Look at this. Look, tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. Please put it on the chat, Pritam. We need to organize a meditation event here. Okay. All right. So tell me on the chat, if there was a way to add certainty that your social media will grow your business, would you say yes? Of course. I feel like at this point, what I can add most value in businesses is actually adding that certainty, cutting with the shortcuts, because like what you learn in just an hour is just a tiny fraction of what you can learn when you see an expert level marketer working on your business, right? So obviously information will take you somewhere, but I want to give you the opportunity to essentially let you know how can you and I work together and see if this is a fit. So there's 3 ways that we can work together. I can be your fractional CMO. And think about these as essentially somebody leading the whole campaign, right? So it's like, okay, so these are my goals, these are my revenue goals. How can you orchestrate the whole thing that I need to do? Do I need to hire more VAs? Do I need to hire a social media manager? Do I need so fractional CMO services are packaged in solutions for small business owners, because you still cannot hire the full service agency. So this package is very, very good. The other great one is a single campaign. And this is where you and I are going to be for 90 days, right? Usually a campaign is a quarter. So maybe you want to launch a new product, or maybe you want to have an event being produced and you want to make sure that you have the audience for it. A single campaign can be great, great, great for that. And the other one is a full service, agency work, which is demand generation, sales enablement, email automations, you name it, right? So when you hear the word agency, that means that essentially you have the opportunity to work with anything that you need. In-house, we have the demand gen, the enablement, and the sales enablement. We also have SEO in-house. We also have social media in-house. And then we outsource the content creation and production to our marketing partners. So, if there's something that we don't have, we find it for you, right? So that's a beautiful part of being in a community with creators. So with that being said, we still have a couple of minutes. Grab this QR code. I would love to have a conversation with you to know more about your goals. This comes complimentary. So Tom, if you can put it on the chat there, the quick connect. Oh, I see that it's there. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to stop the recording as well, because I want to hear, actually, I want to leave the recording. I want to hear Q&A, okay? So stop sharing. Feel free to open your camera if you want, and bring it on. We have 5 to 7 minutes to to answer questions or anything that you need, guys. You're welcome, Anit. Who has a question that you want me to clarify? Anything that you want to say on the chat? Or you want to open your camera? Yes, Pritam. Yes, Maddie. Oh.
Hey, Jessica, thank you so much for this. Like, I know we have access to all these tools, but it's really helpful that, you took the time to just, walk us through a lot of stuff that's already there. I don't use it. So I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
And yeah, like, anyone, feel free to take my information. I'm happy to connect. And if you want to, you're welcome to come check it out as a guest,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
anytime.
Yes, no, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with our people.
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica.
Sure. Mari, your turn.
Hey, Jessica, thank you for putting this together. Thank you, everybody. So I do have a question. I'm into many things. That's where my struggle is, because my main bread and butter is the insurance industry, brokerage, but I don't promote that because I guess I don't know why, but I'm into more creative side to where I create different videos, but nothing really that maybe I can say monetize it. I'm creative with my hands, and I also have a party decorations business, and I think I promote that even more. And I'm just delving more into the digital marketing now. And so I don't know, I guess maybe I just need to focus on one. So what can you tell me about
Mhm.
how can I move forward with what I'm doing.
Yeah. And actually, I might be contrarian here, but I like when creators have multiple passions. One thing that you can do is, there's nothing wrong with growing multiple channels at a time. And then, for example, I think that it will be ideal if we can find a way to let your party people know that you can support with insurance. And this is where your email is going to come handy, right? Because you can be the party person, and then those accounts might drive a lot of followers, might drive a lot of people who want to learn from you. And then on the email side, when they learn about you, you can say, hey guys, sign up to my series about insurance protection, right? So there is nothing wrong with adding your insurance business maybe as the sponsor of your creative content, right? So you can I have seen those dynamics and they work very, very good. If you have the bandwidth, by all means go for it, because like people need to kind of like find a way that they connect with you from your passion. And what the reason why I lead with passion is because when you create content from your passion, um it's not dwelling, right? I'm sure that if I tell you, hey Mari, I need 30 videos from you on what type of insurances people can get, and you're going to be like, what? But if I tell you, hey, can you do a time lapse of you doing a before and after, you're going to be, oh yeah, I can do 30 before and after videos, right? I can educate, I can show with my hands, and then do you have equipment at home to create those?
I only have phone.
That's fine. But do you have like the tripod, the light?
I don't have all the stuff. I have a little bit a small tripod for my phone, but I don't have the light, so that's probably what I need to invest
Yes.
in.
Yes, that can be also a good follow-up, Tom. So we can set a kit on, what things, work on especially on the budget.
Mm.
I found actually, there is these, the name is escaping from my mind now. There is this thing that follows you that you can create content from. What's the name of that? It starts with D. I know the brand is DJI, but I forgot now what the name is.
I've
Gimbal.
seen those,
It's
yes, I need to
yeah, it's
invest
called
in
a
those.
gimbal. So a gimbal can be super helpful, especially because you can put it on your kitchen or wherever you're working, and then you can ask to just follow your face, and then the whole thing follows you and then changes angles and all these kind of things. So that can be a good Christmas present.
All right. Thank you, Jessica.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Katavia, you have a question?
Yes, I have a question.
Go for it.
So my question is, as a venue, I'm having trouble with narrowing down like my niche market, because it's kind of open to such a large variety of things. I will host events myself as like community activations to get people involved, but our sales or how we would generate money is off of our clients celebrating their own events, depending on whatever that looks like. So I'm trying to narrow down how to really like do some niche marketing, or do I do niche marketing in a variety of different areas? I have been using ChatGPT and I'm getting a lot of different responses. And what I'm trying to figure out is like where to start.
Yes. So this is an area where you will need some data
Mm-hmm.
to basically narrow those interests. Okay. So
Okay.
this is an SEO software. And then here I get to use this a lot to kind of narrow when it comes to like, the opportunities, right? So it will be event venue near me, event, wedding. Can you tell me the different reasons why people can find your venue or can rent your venue?
Reasons why they can rent my venue. I would say to celebrate life moments, to, host their own business launch events, baby showers, micro weddings is the one that you share birthday party, prom send-offs, book signings. I mean, honestly, whatever type of event that you would like to have, if you needed a space that's larger than, of course, your home, because our space is like 3,200 square feet. It has ample parking, elevator, and it's staged, right? So it really just depends.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, and this is something that I would say, because your venue is in a map, right? It's physical. Your best channel is going to be Google My Business.
Okay.
Yeah, we need to have Google, and paid traffic might be our best bet also,
Okay.
to generate rich keywords and rich data to see what people want, because it's not just what people want, it's what people who are around you want, right? So even here, when I can segment by the state, it's still hard to predict in comparison to your map, right? So
Okay.
however, generally speaking, if I'm going to be basing my recommendation based on popularity and based on what people, search, obviously wedding venues are going to be at the top, right? I see also that event venue is a generic name, so that should always be there. Corporate event venue, it's also here, which is good. Have you thought about renting your venue to a church on the weekends?
So I've heard that a couple of times now, and I actually have a conversation with the chambers in the area where I'm located to see about potential partnerships with churches, but I haven't done a reach out at this moment. No.
Yes. So churches, when they are starting, they need a venue like yours. I was looking at your video, and then, it can be good for a church that is starting up, right? So yes, I would say Google can be your best bet, but
Okay.
just in the beginning, like, find all the possible variations on how people search for your venue. And the way that you can find it is here. So for example, if I come to Google, let's say event. So notice how all of these variations,
Yep.
yeah. So all of
I'm
these.
in Round Rock, so I'm curious to see what pops up in Round Rock.
Mhm.
Got you.
Okay, let me explain this. On the Google search, on the results, when you see sponsor, this is people who pay for this.
Yep, I know.
So there's paying for this. Now, this is the Google Maps optimization. So you want to be here, discovered at the top. All of these people, except for this that is sponsored, they have optimized their venue map. You see all of this. So what a good campaign that we can work together is actually optimizing your map. So we come here, we see what these people are doing, and we essentially grab that data and make it better. So now the content becomes a content that lives on Google, on your website, and on social. So it's like threading all of those things together so that you can be known and your map gets optimized.
Lovely.
So I see this.
Thank you so much for this. I really appreciate that, Jessica. I've already scheduled my call for this coming Thursday, so I'm really excited.
Yes. No, lovely. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. All right, well, it's 12:10. As you can see, we can stay here all day talking about this. But guys, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for participating. And then, yes, I'm gonna be sending the recording with all of these goody things, and can't wait to keep talking and keep seeing your work. Bye.